Good morning. We're back out on the front porch today at Crystal Lake. It's a very gloomy day, but that actually makes the light better. I'm starting my kitchen timer so that when it's time to stop and do my tarot reading, I know. Now, thanks Skylar Cade for having me on your blog today. And viewers, please take a moment and look at yesterday's post from Skylar, which really made me laugh. It made me think of when I had just published my first novel, which was a romance novel under the pen name Virginia Reed. And I had a friend, and she would take me out to these parties and things, very sophisticated woman in Miami, and introduce me as my good friend Toni, who writes smut. Yeah, and she didn't mean anything by it. And when I finally one day pulled her aside and asked her to please stop doing that, she was horrified because she thought she was being funny. And I didn't really care what people thought. If they thought my romance novel was smut, I was okay with that. The problem I had was that I was trying to impress this very attractive, very serious journalist from the Miami Herald, and I wanted him to think that I wrote something, high-minded and literary, and she was stealing my thunder. I've answered some of the questions that Skylar sent me on previous videos, so I'm going to go kind of quick, but I am going to answer them. She says, have you ever had a dream that inspired or influenced one of your scenes? The entire book, Men in Chains, a Virginia Reed title, was inspired by a dream I had. And I've got lots more written down that may show up in a book someday. So, 2, what is your writing routine? For example, do you always listen to the same music or write at the same time each day? Well, I can write just about anywhere. That's why I have the Alpha Smart. I can tune out the world and write. But I do try to get up and write first thing in the morning before I have breakfast, just me and my coffee, because I always have my coffee, which reminds me to take a sip. Doing these videos has interrupted my routine a little bit, but I may take my Alpha Smart and go somewhere. Not that this isn't idyllic, but I get plenty of alone time working here with just me and my cat, Oscar. Yes, I said your name. He's nearby. We'll see if he deigns to make an appearance today. Do you fully plot your novels out from the beginning, or do they evolve as you write? Now, this is making me laugh because yesterday I was participating in an event on Twitter. It's called Write Chat, and they have it on Sunday afternoons. And Bob Meyer, who some of you may know is Jenny Cruzy's writing partner, he also writes novels on his own, obviously, and he's a former Special Forces guy. And he said something, and forgive me, Bob, if I don't quote you exactly, that the way you outline your novel is the way you run your life or something like that. And I had to laugh because it's so true. I make a very careful, very detailed outline and plan, and then I deviate from it. I stick to it for a while, but then it all goes crazy. Oh, it's garbage day, and I remembered to take my cans out this week. Yes, I'm not starting the video over. Sorry about the noise. It's the big garbage truck. Okay, do your characters ever demand the story take a different course from the one you originally intended? Bye-bye, garbage truck. Okay. Yes, in fact, for those of you who have read Cry Mercy, or for those of you that are about to read Cry Mercy, and that should pretty much cover all of you, the thing that happens when Mercy goes to confront Bobby Hollings in Tucson, Arizona, I didn't know that revelation at the end was going to happen until I wrote it, and it was a total surprise to me. And as soon as I wrote it, I knew it was completely right. And I tell you what, when that happens, you're just like doing the happy dance around your computer. What was your favorite childhood book? I loved the Frances Hodgson Burnett books, like A Little Princess in the Secret Garden. And in those books, terrible, dire things happened to children. Their parents died of horrible diseases. They weren't dumbed down for children. I always hated it when there was they'd make the movie version, and oh, it was all a mistake. Daddy wasn't really dead. It was, he was just he had amnesia. No. Trust the kids a little bit. Yeah, it's sad when Bambi's mother dies, but then it makes it all the more impressive, to the child when he overcomes those odds and becomes the strongest deer in the forest. That's how I felt about my characters when they overcame those terrible odds, and things turned out well for them. I think that's one of the reasons that J.K. Rowling's books do so well, is they don't insult the reader's intelligence. What is your least favorite adverb? Well, that's a good question. Actually, it's actually, and it's probably actually my most favorite adverb, because I use it way too much. I have to actually do a search for it. See, I just said it when I write my when I'm finishing up my document. Okay, I can see I have a little time left before I have to start my tarot reading, and I wanted to answer a question from the Twitter follower that asked. It actually kind of came up in conjunction with some discussion on my book, Doctor Business, Book RX, and they said, well, yeah, but how polished does a manuscript really have to be? Won't the editor or agent just tell you what it is that they'd like changed? And the answer is no, they won't. They won't. They'll just send you a thank you very much, but not at this time rejection letter. It was a hard shock to me to learn that editors and agents read to reject. If they don't like something in the first paragraph, they do not read the second paragraph. I didn't think this was true when an editor told me this, and I found out, no, that's pretty much, it has to be. They get hundreds, if not thousands, of unsolicited manuscript every month. They can't read those all. They can't. And it's not that it's not a good story, but I think of the movie Bull Durham, and I use this example in my workshops where we've got this guy and he goes in and he's pitching for the first time and he's terrible. He walks 14 players or 18 players and he hits the sportscaster and the mascot twice, and afterwards they're talking about him in the clubhouse, and the coach says to the manager, wow, this kid, he did all this terrible stuff, but he's great. Man, he's got some shit, It's like, there are no minor leagues in writing. They don't have the option of taking you and looking past the bad pitches to see the raw talent underneath. You got to get that stuff cleaned up front. And whether you hire a book doctor or you just get some really good critique partners, or you take a lot of workshops and take a good critical look at your work, you need to capture them so that if the thing that they find that stops them is on the 5th page, not the 5th paragraph or the 5th sentence, they're already hooked and they'll keep reading. And now it's time to do my tarot reading. Okay. And I'm doing one today from a Twitter follower, Buckeye Girl. And if you're not from the United States, you may not know that means she's from Ohio. Her real name is Colette Schmiel, and she describes herself as an avid reader, a reality show junkie, a sports lover, especially football. Okay, they are, the 10 of Wands. Colleen, you've been working too hard. The 4 of Cups and dreaming too much, and the 7 of Swords. Okay. Wands is the suit of the things that you put into action. So, Colleen, you have only yourself to blame for the fact that, let's see if I can get this so the reflection of the sun. There we go. For taking on all these goals that you're trying to do, all of them all at once. You can't concentrate on 10 goals simultaneously. You need to learn the word no. You can't blame this on others. You agreed to all of this. You need to put down a few of those wands and pick 1 or 2 and concentrate on those. Now, Cups is the suit of the things that you need to take care of your emotional needs of love and family and all that spirituality. And you see this guy, he's got these 3 beautiful full cups, but instead he's gazing off at the imaginary cup in the sky. And that's saying that to instead of thinking about the love you wish you had, or the family you wish you had, or that thing you wish you had, that emotional thing you wish you had, you need to pay attention and not neglect the gifts that you already have. Now, the 3rd card, not a very pretty one, is the 7 of Swords. It is about dishonor, or not playing by the rules, or doing something that you don't feel good about. This is saying that you're going to come up against a situation in the very near future where it's very tempting to take the easy way out, to take a shortcut, not to take the high road. Don't do it. You need to make the choice that you won't have to apologize a year from now, to do the right thing, even if the right thing is hard, because if you do the wrong thing, you're going to end up feeling really bad about it. Okay, that's all the time I have for today. Watch the trailer, buy the book, and come back tomorrow and see what I'm doing then. Bye.